Okay, good morning, good morning, good morning. Today we're going to bring to you some sausage and gravy. So here we have it. All right, what we have? Jimmy Dean? What we got?
Jimmy
Dean.
regular pork sausage.
Regular pork sausage.
And what we're doing right now is all I'm doing now is just shaving some off the roll, nice and thin. Because what I'm going to do is crumble it up like ground beef, but it's pork sausage. And we're going to just let that, just ground that up, put that in the pan, and we're going to let that brown up nice and brown. And once that get brown, I'm going to show you what I'm going to do with it next.
And this long roll, show the roll again. This long roll of Jimmy Dean is how many ounces? 32 ounces. 32 ounces. This roll was how much?
$6.
$6 at your local BJ's.
Okay. All right. Now we got the sausage starting to brown up in the pan. That burner's kind of got some grease or something. I'm gonna let that go ahead and burn that off. That up a little higher, let that burn off. But the sausage is browning up in the pan. We're gonna let those sausages go ahead on and continue browning. Meanwhile, I'm gonna start a roux for the bechamel for the sausage gravy. I'm gonna go ahead and put that pot on the aisle, cut that down a little bit. I'm gonna grab some all-purpose gold medal flour. Some of the ingredients you're gonna need is gonna be milk, flour, white pepper, and butter. So the first thing I can go ahead on and do is put the butter in the pan. You use a whole stick on this because Alfredo sauce is made with butter, flour, and milk. I'm going to go ahead and throw that in there and let that start melting down. As that gets melted down, keep on stirring that sausage up, making sure they get cooked all the way through. Get a nice little golden brown on those sausage. You don't have to ground them to little crummy pieces. I guess when you go to the store and they normally have sausage gravy, or you go to a restaurant, they sausage gravy be really small, little teeny weeny pieces of sausage. I like mine a little bit of chunk, so when you put it over that toast or over them biscuits, you get some kind of texture, some kind of girth to them. So I'm going to go ahead and let those finish going down. As you see, the butter is starting to melt in the pot here in the little sauce pot. I'm going to add 3 tablespoons of flour, all-purpose gold medal flour to that butter. Finished melting down because that was a whole stick, so I want to let it go ahead on and get all the way down. Meanwhile, I'll keep on working with the sausage. Just some nice fresh Jimmy Dean sausage, regular. You can use spicy if you like spicy sausage gravy, but I'm gonna do it regular. My wife don't eat spicy. Okay, the butter's doing pretty good here. Couple more seconds on that, let it get all the way out. And the purpose for putting the flour in the butter is just like making any kind of gravy or roux or Alfredo sauce. You want to cook the flour flavor out of the out of whatever it is you're making. So I'm going to go 1, 2, and 3 on the tablespoons of all-purpose flour. I'm going to get those get that whisked right into that butter, so it doesn't have any clumps or lumps. So it's nice and smooth, and that's what it looks like. Looks like a nice smooth paste. And what I'm going to do is just leave that on the burner and let that cook that flour taste out of there. You can see the sauces are starting to brown slightly. I'm going to keep on going and let them brown up pretty good all the way around. And that's going to give that sausage gravy that nice little pop. Okay, get rid of this flour. We don't need any more of it. Okay. As you can see, that's simmering up really nice. That means the flour taste is getting cooked out of there. I'm gonna let that go for a little bit. Then I'm gonna start whisking in the cream, and then we're gonna let that come to a boil, come to a boil, and that's gonna once it comes to a boil, it's gonna start thickening again. I don't know if you can see this, but let me bring that up on there. That's what that flour looks like in that butter when it's cooking out. See, it's all bubbling up like that. That's cooking out that flour taste right there. Now these sausages are doing pretty good. They're looking the way I want them, so I'm going to go ahead and cut the heat off of them, but I'm going to leave them here so they can finish cooking down a little bit more. Okay, there we go. Now I'm going to grab a whisk. And I'm going to whisk that flour in the butter a little bit. Like I said, this is how you make all your basic bechamels, your basic Alfredo sauces. All right, now once you got that nice and come to a nice, it's been cooking for a couple minutes here, and it's pretty much the flavor is out. But I'm gonna let it continue to cook out once I make it all up. But here we go. I'm gonna start incorporating cream and whisk that cream right into there. One thing about Alfredo sauce, when you put cold cream in it, it just looks like it's soupy. It doesn't look like Alfredo sauce, but when it comes to a boil, it'll begin to thicken. So we're just going to let that go ahead on, and I'm going to hit that with a little bit of white pepper. White pepper. Not black pepper, white pepper. Because the white pepper will disappear in it. Wow. Bada boom, bada bing. We'll let that go for a minute. I'm going to keep the milk out because once that comes to a boil, you're going to see it starting to thicken back up. Sausage gravy, sauces are browning. And this is what's going to go in there into the Alfredo sauce. And then I'm going to let it continue to cook once I put the sausage in there. And it'll take all that sausage, sage flavor, and it's going to incorporate it into that Alfredo sauce. So we're going to go ahead and crank this up just a little bit so we can get it heated to the temper. In fact, I'm going to bring it to the front. Shut that one on. Cut this one on. And then you can watch this come to a, as it's starting to heat up and start to boil, you'll watch it thicken up. The sauces are looking good. They're perfect. They don't really need to cook anymore. They're beautiful, nice and brown. These are the sausage, ground up sausage that goes into that sausage gravy. We'll put that off to the side. Meanwhile, back at the ranch, the Alfredo sauce. Now, right now it's real thin. As soon as that heat starts to hit it again and it come back up to temperature and start to boil, you'll watch how it start to form and to start to thicken up. They have a thing known as 095 chicken stock. You don't want this to have a chicken flavor, but when you make it Alfredo sauces, chicken base is pretty much a key component in making Alfredo sauces. So I'm just going to put like a quarter of a tablespoon in this. And as you can see, this is already starting to thicken really quick. And if you blink, it's thickened all the way to the point you can't work with it. So right now I'm going to grab some more cream because it already come to a boil. You can see how thick that's gotten. Look how thick that is. That's way too thick. And that's the purpose of keeping the milk out. And you can temper it down, loosen it up. And I'm probably going to loosen that up one more time before I add the sausage to it. In fact, I'll get some more in here now. I may not even need all of this Alfredo sauce. I could use this to make this with some shrimp Alfredo and some for something later on, or some chicken Alfredo. I'm going to take part of this out because I don't want this to be so much Alfredo sauce that it's going to overrun the sausage. And plus, it's only me and my wife, so we don't want to. I'm going to let that thicken back up and let you see what that looks like in a minute. Because it will keep on thickening until you get it to the consistency. And then once it's to this consistency, you don't have to worry about it anymore. That's some good chicken base. They got something called 095 chicken base, but this one here is, which kind is that one?
Better than bouillons.
Yeah, better than bouillons. Chicken base. You get this here at Sam's, BJ's, Walmart sometime carry it. You know.
ShopRite.
ShopRite, yeah. I remember when those used to only be $2. They're all the way up to $5 now. Alright, now here we go. As you can see, it's already thickened up again. See how thick it's gotten again? The last step of that would be to put a little bit of Parmesan cheese in there. A quarter cup of Parmesan cheese. I'm going to cut that down some. Quarter cup of Parmesan Reggiano. I know we got some of this. Got tons of it.
Check the basket on the rack of the refrigerator. You open it? Show them.
Alright, what I'm going to do here is add about a half a cup of Parmesan Reggiano.
What's the basket?
A little bit of Parmesan Reggiano. Mix that up in there. In a restaurant, this will be a starter roux for most Alfredo dishes. If you go in a restaurant and they'll have this already in, they'll already have this inside of a colander. And what they do, like if you order shrimp Alfredo or something, and they're doing everything from scratch, what they do is they'll saute the shrimp up in a pan, and then they'll take a big ladle and take one big hen of this, one little piece of butter, one piece of Parmesan cheese, a ladle of cream, and they'll throw it back on the stove and bring it up to a boil. Then they'll throw your pasta in there, and bada boom, bada bing, that's the way it go. But that's what Alfredo sauce looks like when it gets to where it's supposed to be. I'm going to take part of this out and set it off to the side because I'm going to go ahead on and make my sausage gravy. I need to put it in something I can save it in. How about this? Yeah. That gravy off of there, some of that Alfredo sauce off of there. Bada boop, bada bing. And it's delicious. Alright, now I'm gonna place that on the heat. I'm gonna crank that down to low, and I'm gonna go ahead on and incorporate the sausage into that. So we're going to throw the sausage right on into that. You can do this with cream chip beef. Make your own homemade cream chip beef by having your shaved beefs. And they'll go in there, but see, as you can see that. You didn't want it. I didn't want it to have more Alfredo sauce than sausage gravy. So I'm gonna hit that with a little because it's gonna thicken up a little more. I'm gonna break that down a little bit more. Give it a little thinning, and that should be it on the thinning out. And I'm just gonna let that cook the sausage flavor into there. Hit that with just a little hint more white pepper. Remember, white pepper and Alfredo sauces, not black. now that's it. We're gonna let that get back up to temperature and let those sausage cook into there, because that'll bring all that sage flavor out of them sausage. And that's gonna be our sausage gravy. I'm gonna move that to the back heat so that can go ahead on and work by itself. Meanwhile, I'm gonna scramble up a couple eggs. Get rid of this. Sausage gravy's doing this thing. I'm gonna bring that pan back over here that we sauteed those sausages in. Go ahead on and add those scrambled eggs. Bada boom, bada bang. Hit those eggs with a little bit of pepper. I'm gonna go ahead and hit it.
The salt.
Come on, Leah?
No.
What's wrong with it? What's the matter?
What's salt for?
This is pitch.
Okay, you can have it. Now let's not salt.
I know, but this is for the taste for the
Yes, I don't mess with salt. Himalaya or otherwise. My baby, he got to add something in.
They say if you don't flavor it, it don't taste right.
Well, it's always fine to me.
Your asshole.
Check your back burner.
I got that. That's working hard. That doing its thing.
You want this toast?
Yes, we need toast now.
Yes, I have the toast on the bread I use. I showed them. It was the full grain. Full grain. Full grain, full grain.
It's a little bit of standard scrambled eggs. Little bits and pieces of the yum-yums from the pan that the sausage was just cooked in.
You only need one slice of bread, right?
2 slices of bread.
Per person?
Yes. That should be one piece per head. Okay, burners off. All burners off. Eggs are done. Sausage gravy's done. toast is done. Ah, yeah, that's perfect. That's what it looked like. Nice and creamy, nice and smooth. Sauces are all incorporated in there.
Clean up.
You don't feel like you're getting cheated. You can grab a knife and cut the toast one time in half. We're gonna layer them puppies like that. Hit that with some eggs.
Well, two plates.
I got you. Then we're gonna go the scooper without the holes. And I'm gonna go ahead and grab some of that nice sausage gravy, homemade. I'm gonna grab a scoop up, and it goes right on that toast. Right on that toast. Right on that toast. It goes excellent with scrambled eggs. And there you have it. Sausage gravy. You can put that over biscuits or toast. We did toast with some scrambled eggs. That's breakfast 101.
Thank you for watching. Stay tuned for more food.